There
we
we
go.
is. What's up?
Hey guys, welcome back, cuz. Hey, bro.
What's up, Todd?
What you doing, buddy?
Getting ready for a fun weekend of watching some London baseball.
How cool is it, man? It's I love this whole story of Phillies in London, and it's been a Philadelphia takeover.
Yeah, I didn't know a thing about the Passyunk bar out there. I've been out there a few times, and I never knew about that. That place is cool.
Isn't it great? Isn't it great?
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
So, Todd, I was just telling Anthony about, we were talking about British actors and TV series, and he loves the Great British Bake Off. I was just telling him about Slow Horses with Gary Oldman. What is TV Todd's favorite British show, I guess?
Well, first of all, I don't watch the Great Bake Off, but Slow Horses is a great show. In fact, I want to say the fourth season of it will be out, I think maybe the end of November or sometimes toward the end of the year, but they've already picked up a season 5. So that's a great show. Listen, for me, this is a tough topic. I could go for hours and hours and hours because I truly grew up and got my love of television from British comedy. British comedy is where it all started for me. In the 70s, Monty Python, Faulty Towers, Benny Hill, because you loved Benny Hill, right?
I remember as a kid watching it because you would see like half naked women.
Nice.
Yeah.
Remember that?
What?
Like the beginning. Like
Yeah.
I remember. I didn't even like. First of all, I hate comedy, right? So you know that. So and even when I'm a kid, I would watch it. It used to come on like I don't know, Channel 17 when we were kids, and it was late at night, and you would see, and it would have like risque
Oh, yeah.
scenes, and you're 12 years old,
Oh, hell
13
yeah.
years
Yeah,
old,
man.
you're
There you
looking
go.
for the Betty Hill girl.
Yeah.
That was like, when you go back and look at history, that guy was one of the first people to push censors. And, again, it was back in the 70s. I mean, Monty Python showed stuff that we didn't show in the U.S. either. And you're right. It was on either late at night or Sunday nights on PBS or something. I mean, it was crazy. But I really got my love of film and TV from that kind of comedy. And, when I think about fast forwarding to the British stuff that I absolutely love, I'm a big fan of dark, sort of funny horror. So I love American Werewolf in London. Probably one of the first big comedy horror films ever. I mean, it
That was a
smashed
great.
box office.
That was a great movie. That was a great movie.
Amazing, and still holds up today. But it started a whole genre of the comedy horror films. Shaun of the Dead, another great British, comedy horror film. So I personally love all that kind of stuff.
So I'm a huge fan of the dramas, right? Like their series are ridiculous, and I love the British gangster movies.
Oh, you love Top Boy, right? That's like one of your favorite.
It's a great series about the drug game in London and England. It's really, really good. I mean, if I could go on and on and on. One of my favorite movies all time is Layer Cake.
Yeah, Layer Cake is fantastic. What the nice thing about talking about this today is your listeners could go back and watch series that are already done. So they can binge watch them. Like, Top Boy is a great one. Obviously, you guys mentioned Peaky Blinders, I'm sure. 6 seasons of that amazing show, maybe one of the best shows out of the UK of all time. And now they're going into the movie world. They're doing Netflix movies. They're doing I think you mentioned it, a prequel, but I think it takes place during World War II. They're trying to keep it under wraps.
Well, what's the time frame? So I did, because I read the same thing about it being a prequel. And remember, the whole story is then how they fought in World War II and how they escaped, right? Like, and there was this scene. They did great flashbacks of how the main characters were tormented from it.
That's right, and I think that is they're keeping it under wraps for a reason. But I think that is going to be what it is, and I don't think it's just going to be one film. I think we're going to see a few Peaky Blinders films before it's all said and done, maybe even back to a final series. They're keeping it very, very open at this point. But I know everyone's really excited about that for sure.
I got to tell you, I told Tam, I go, listen, because when the thing came out, I was like, yo, let's go watch. We rewatch series. Like my two favorite series, Peaky Blinders and Gomorrah, right? So I've rewatched Gomorrah probably 4 times. I go, dude, I told my wife, I go, we got to rewatch Peaky because we haven't done. I mean, the first 3 seasons were unbelievable. It gets a little like everything else does, but it's still great.
It is. And I got to follow up on that point you just made because it's super important. I don't know how many of your listeners really understand or know this, but in the UK, when they typically do series, Peaky Blinders is not typical. They will probably their goal is to do 2 seasons, wrap the whole thing up, and then maybe do a special, a 2-hour special or a movie. That's why some of the content in the UK is so fantastic because they write out and plan the entire story arc from the very beginning. In America, we beat it to death. 7 seasons, 8 seasons, 13 seasons, 20 seasons. Things become meandering. I mean, listen, let's talk about The Office, right? Because I heard you mention it. The original Office, Ricky Gervais's Office from the UK, one of my favorite shows of all time, 2 seasons and a special, maybe 2 specials. I think he did like a spin-off movie. That's all he did. And what did we do in America? We did it forever and ever and ever till people got bored of it, and then we wrap it up. But that is the British model.
What's the speaking of Ricky Gervais? What was that show he did? I want to say it's fairly recent.
Afterlife?
Where he's depressed. What was it?
Afterlife.
Yes. Oh my God, that was an incredible show.
Let's talk about Gervais for 1 second here, because I think in America, the view of him is maybe his stand-up or what they've seen him do on the Oscars or something like that. They have no idea how incredibly talented and creative that guy is. Not only did he create The Office, and by the way, I know I'm going to sound like a bit of a snob or something. The UK version, hilarious, more hilarious than the United States version. But at the end of the day, he created The Office. He created Extras, which was a great comedy about him being an extra in movies and on television sets. He created Afterlife. I mean, this guy...
An Idiot Abroad. I love that show.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Carl Pilkington.
That's right. Great one, bro. He is so incredibly talented and does not get the credit in the U.S. that he deserves.
No, he's brilliant. Since we're doing this whole British theme, they are just incredible storytellers. Like you brought up Top Boy. My man Tony the Ref loves Top Boy too. I don't know if you've seen it. It's ridiculous. It's The Wire,
okay,
right? But even more pronounced, more behind the thing. The characters are rich.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
I always loved Luther, TV Todd. I thought Idris Elba in that series was phenomenal. They do great TV over there in films. They really do.
They do.
Well,
I'm going to give
comes
you
back
one.
to the theater.
Yeah.
Their theater's the best on the planet.
Sure.
And their theater is different than the way theater is in New York, right? Their plays, it's not, you got to get dressed up. It's completely different. And the acting is tremendous. Like it really is amazing. You're talking about Shakespeare. They know how to do it.
Not to go off on a tangent, but at the end of the day, the reason you're saying that is because of how they invest in and value the arts. Whereas here in the United States, in Philadelphia right now, we are not valuing the arts. And I think that's the difference, to be honest. It's a profession there. It's respected. Kids are encouraged to go to school for it and learn it. Whereas here, we look down on it sometimes.
Yeah,
and
here's the problem, right? Like, we don't value, like, we don't understand that there's right-brain people and left-brain people, right? Like, we all go to we all skew a different direction. And creative people are at a disadvantage in America, right? Like I don't know about you, but I don't have a business mind, right? I don't have I can't code, right? Like you need that brain to work that way. Like some stuff you just can't, you're not wired. And if you're wired more for creativity, right? Like I write, I can draw, I have like all my gifts are in the creative realm, not in the practical, brilliant, business mind.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. If I had to leave your listeners with two shows that I think they should really dip into and really enjoy while they're enjoying the Phillies in London in terms of London content or UK content, I will leave you with two. The first is, and I've mentioned it with you, Cuz, for many, many years on various shows, Black Mirror out of the UK.
Yeah.
By far,
it's
one
great.
of the most fun and really jarring series when you think about today and technology and AI and all that stuff. It's the twilight zone of modern technology. So I highly recommend it. But here's one that I am so excited just came back to Netflix to show the entire 4-season arc. Show out of the UK called Killing Eve.
Oh, it's awesome. I love that show.
Bro, I'm telling
It's back?
you, it's not back in terms of making
She's
more.
so hot too.
Jodie Comer. They just released all 4 seasons on Netflix to binge. And cuz I'm telling you, it's amazing. It's the story of these intelligence officers in Britain. Sandra Oh is the star in it. And she is sort of charged with tracking down this sociopathic assassin who's played by Jodie Comer, who, when she came out in this role, every award show on the planet was talking about her as this is one of the greatest acting performances they have ever seen. 4 seasons, Killing Eve on Netflix. I'm telling your listeners, they will start tonight and they will not want to stop until they're done.
Yeah, she's like a Russian-born, put into like this killer's academy early at age like 6 or 7, becomes like one of the best assassins in the world.
I read about it.
And she's like incredibly sexy and charming and speaks all these languages. It's like, it is so cool.
I've never seen a sociopathic character played as well as this character.
Wow.
It is truly great. And it's just back on Netflix now. Perfect timing for what's going on this weekend.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
man, we could go on forever. I mean, we haven't touched iconic British stuff like James Bond and some of the great actors. Like, we haven't touched any of it.
You got James Bond and you have Austin Powers.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's hysterical. I mean, well, I didn't get into my Ray Winstone, who's my favorite. I love Ray Winstone, sexy beast. Did you ever watch the series?
I did. I didn't love the series, to be honest. I love the movie. The movie's one of my favorites, but the series, it didn't grab me the way I was hoping it would.
Yeah, I watched it. I mean, it was good. I love the movie, so,
Yeah, and listen, we talked in previous shows about The Gentleman, and we talked about Train Spotting, and
geez, we didn't get my cousin's favorite. I mean, wow. Some incredible filmmaking, really, really. Anyway, Todd, what a pleasure always. Go.
We all silly like the mayor.